This is Wade, and you are in Wade World. Today, we are going to talk about something interesting, and that is where did the people that call themselves Aryans come from? Now, there's a lot of research about it, and you can quote it all you want, but there are some things that are very noticeable based on the genetic data that we have been given. Number one, that there were two waves of distinct Aryans that bifurcated, but the original wave came from what is now modern day Kazakhstan, from the south of Russia. Now, what's interesting is that the first wave that settled in those subcontinent in Asia, if you look at Kazakhstan, it is literally a direct line from Kazakhstan to India, and it is also a direct line from Kazakhstan to Siberia, so it's Siberia, Kazakhstan, India. How this matters is because if you observe the frequency of Aryan writings, whether it's the ancient Vedas, which are 3,000 years old, or Aryan-derived cultures, their gods are always like light-haired, blonde, blue-eyed, or light-eyed, which is specifically light hair and very light blue eyes, a feature found not only in the people in Siberia, but in the dogs in Siberia, Siberian huskies, cats in Siberia, horses in Siberia, lions and tigers, Siberian tigers. So it seems that light skin, light hair, and blue eyes is a feature that develops the most frequently, regardless of species, in Siberia. And Siberia is the coldest place on Earth, which receives the least amount of sunlight for the majority of the year, just based on where it is. It's in a depression. So, this fact also stands as an exception to the fact that you don't find the frequency of these features even in the other people who have blonde and blue eyes, which are usually the Nordic countries with the highest percentage of blonde and blue-eyed people, or light-haired, light-eyed people. So it's like Finland, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Iceland, and Estonia, and all these countries. Although the Estonia has the Baltics, which are also quite up north, again, lack of sunlight, log the ear, but the flora and animals don't really have that frequency. Like, there is no Norwegian tiger, blue-eyed, or Norwegian cats that have that frequency. Like a street cat in Siberia, it's blue eyes, beautiful blue eyes, and absolutely white. So just as a matter of curiosity, if we address another question, why did the Aryans, who had these blonde-haired, blue-eyed gods originally, get out of where they were and colonize the whole planet as much as they could? Well, there the question comes of need. If we assume the current model of Earth is correct, then we are living in basically what has been the end of a very, very long ice age. I'm gonna say 350 million year ice age. So if you had a group of people who were living in an ice age for hundreds of thousands of years, where it's icy south, icy north, icy east, icy west, you have no motivation to migrate because everywhere is frozen, so you might as well stay where you are. But as the ice age starts ending and the ice starts melting, specifically the ice starts melting more faster towards the south, and then towards the west and the east, and finally kind of towards the north. And with common sense, you would probably be very motivated to get out of the frozen wasteland you have evolved in and find somewhere that is less frozen. So that answers the question of the need of the Aryans to expand. And again, if you look at the expansion routes. They just went straight down south until they reached the sea, and they were like very happy. They were like, wow, it's not a frozen wasteland anymore. There's actually trees, there's actually some water, there's actually sunlight. And the vast majority of them just settled there. And then, of course, some more went westward, all throughout the Middle East, Europe, colonized it. It's all genetic research that you can see. So the history of the Aryans can be summed up very succinctly as a group of majority blonde, blue-eyed people living in extremely harsh conditions in what is modern-day Siberia, which is still harsh, who started migrating the moment ice started melting, the ice age started ending, and then migrated south to warmer climates, and then west for a little bit of a variety, and then kept migrating up and down, because remember, these are people who, by the time they would have settled Europe, the ice would have migrated even further north, so even the Europe and areas which were frozen earlier were now available to them. And these are people who have lived for generations, thousands of generations in the absolute frozen wasteland and become pretty good at surviving. So for them, anything that is not snow as far as the eye can see is great. It's like, wow, that's great. Just an interesting observation about the Aryan colonization, or not even the colonization, this would be the Aryan settling and development of the world, because there was nothing before they actually came and built things. And the reason for their curiosity, their energy, their need, and their drive for expansion, because they lived in the harshest environments known to man. And we'll end with this thought. The harshest conditions make the most superior humans. The easiest conditions make the most inferior humans, especially mentally. This is beyond the nature of the doubt. This is nature's design. This is the reality we live in. So food for thought if you have any interest in these things and if you have the intelligence to understand them. Until next time, keep it cool, keep it smart, and enjoy.